Morning, it's Monday and it's first pitch. I'm Marco D'Angelo sitting in for the Prez, and our partner in crime today, our resident first pitch expert, Dave Cokin, joins me this morning. Dave, how's you this fine Monday morning? I know you got to be better than I am.
Pretty good weekend. Had a winner with my first CFL play, Winnipeg, which is a team I think can win the Grey Cup this year, and they came through. So 1-0 there, and okay in the baseball this weekend. I had the Pirates yesterday. Actually, got a good bullpen performance for a change, and that worked out well. So good day yesterday, and Saturday was okay, and we'll see if we can keep it going today.
Well, I'm looking to start a streak because it's been quite a slide for me. Full disclosure, been rough for me. Bullpens, Dave. Last week I was ranting on the radio show, and we'll be on today from 2 to 3 here in Las Vegas, yourself and my. Bullpens, pitching in general. I mean, if you're playing overs right now, I know we'll have some sportsbook guys on, Chuck Esposito on Mondays. I got to figure that the average players are just, with the overs, are just making money right now because you got to hold your breath if you're playing an under. I don't know that my disposition in unders, I don't know if I could watch a baseball game with an under bet right now.
Well, I won't. I haven't made a full game under bet in a long time because the bullpens have been really bad for all season, and so I just got away from full game unders. So my first five, my only under play is the first five, and in fact I might have a couple of those today. But they're no full games. I don't want to get involved with any of the bullpens. They're just too volatile. Full games as far as totals, sides are concerned, is a different story. You have to hold your breath sometimes, but that's just for those who are just handicapping starting pitching and playing full games. I don't imagine life is great right now. First five seems to be more reliable.
Yeah, and Dave, I made that decision yesterday for me. This is how good I'm running right now. I liked Seattle yesterday. Used them as a first 5-inning wager. 4-3 after 5. And then I'm on, and if you would expect a bullpen to blow up, your money would be on Seattle's bullpen every time. And they got the win yesterday, come from behind, 6-3. I didn't get the win because I thought I got smarter and went with the first 5. That's just the way it's been going. But it's a new week, Dave, and we've been doing this for a long time. And when you encounter that, the wins and the losses, both ways, you got to turn the page because every day is a new day. And let's do that. And let's start with a matchup in the NL East. We've got Philadelphia. Jake Arrieta is going to be on the mound against Pat Corbin. And this is a spot where Pat Corbin, all year has been very good, but not good recently, Dave. How do you see this one playing out?
He's not good recently because he can't locate his slider. And that's his swing and miss pitch, and he just is not getting it where he wants. And if Corbin has to rely on his fastball, then he's in trouble, and he can get hit. So he's not a go-with pitcher right now. Jake Arrieta really hasn't been a go-with pitcher all year. Nationals are playing better baseball right now. And I think that would explain a slight bump in the line. It opened 130. It's now mostly 140. And I think based on that, I would probably lean on the Nationals, thinking that Corbin will fix his problem at some time. But I'd like to see a game where he gets that slider working before I'm willing to invest in him.
Yeah, he has been fantastic at home, though. This is a spot where back at home, 6 home starts. He's got an ERA of 2.32 and a whip of 0.86. And back to Arrieta, the problem with him, as you said, location's been a big problem, especially in the last 2 outings. 9 walks, Dave, for Jake Arrieta in just 10 2/3 innings, last 2 starts combined. That's not going to get it done. I agree with you. I lean to Washington. But, boy, this is another one that when you get past the starting pitching, you hold your breath with both of these teams, and that's buyer beware if you're going full game. But I do lean to Washington. Moving to the Mets in Atlanta, the Atlanta Braves, they are on a run right now. 9-1 in their last 10 games, Dave. Do you want to take a guess who was on him in the one game they lost in that 10? All right, you want to let's hey, we got a little extra time, so I can give a rant. I had 3 different things go bad for me in that Atlanta game on Saturday. Their only loss in 10 games. My starting pitcher takes a line drive to the head, lose him in the 3rd inning. I give up 4 unearned runs during the game, and still have a 5-4 lead in the 9th inning. Yeah. Okay, 6-5. Bullpen, 2 runs. Tell me what's going to happen here. I know pitcher on the mound for Atlanta. You're very high on this year, and why not? He has been sensational, Mike Soroka. Finally coming off one of his a bad outing, but that's just one. Do you look for him to bounce back?
I think the price is high in this game. It's come down some. It was 164 open, and now we're seeing mostly 155. So a little money on the road team. The Mets, Zach Wheeler's tough. I think if the Mets decide to go into trade mode, Wheeler's the guy everybody wants. So they'll be looking at him.
He was lit up in his last game, though.
Yeah, he was. So was Soroka.
But prior to that, Wheeler had come off of 2 good starts. Again, this Mets team, I don't trust either bullpen, but Soroka, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and look for him to bounce back here off the one outing. I'm not going to push the panic button when somebody's pitched as well as he has all year and has that one bad outing. I'll look for him to bounce back. And he's only faced the Mets twice in his career, both last year, so they haven't seen him yet this year. He was sensational in his 2 starts against the Mets last year, gave up only 1 run in 12-plus innings of work. I got to lean to Atlanta, but you know what? If I play it, it's going to even add a little more juice to it. I would prefer Atlanta first 5 than the full game.
And I'm sorry, I got distracted by a text. I would lean Mets here at the price. I think the price is too high. I think the Braves win the game, but I would not be laying 155 in this spot against Wheeler. What I was trying to say in Wheeler is he's the most tradable guy on the Mets, so if they do go into that mode, Wheeler could end up someplace else in another month or so.
Miami at St. Louis. You've got Miami. They're back to their old ways. 2-8 the last 10 games. They can't score runs, Dave. In those 10 games, they've only scored more than 4 runs twice in 10 games. And in fact, in that 10-game stretch, 6 of the games, Dave, this is almost hard to do in today's baseball with the way their teams are scoring runs. 6 of the 10 games, they've scored 0 or 1 run. You talk about an anemic offense. Miami's is about as bad as it gets. Yeah. St. Louis returns home off of a road trip, and it was a long one. It was a 10-game road trip. Does this look too much as like an automatic slam dunk for the Cardinals?
No, I wouldn't be risking this price on Michaelis against anybody. I know he's been better at home than on the road. Michaelis and Flaherty have been disasters on the road, but good at home. But I just don't like the way Michaelis is throwing the ball right now. He's a pitch-to-contact guy, and the contact's been pretty strong off him, and that includes a game against the Marlins, where he just got destroyed last week. Gave up a grand slam to Cooper, and boy, that was a rough outing. Hernandez is an interesting guy because he was a Rule 5 a couple of years back, last year I guess it was, and didn't really look like a commodity moving forward, but he was great at New Orleans this year, absolutely tremendous, and pitched well last week in his first start back up. I think this is overpriced. I'm not recommending Miami because they're a terrible team and they're on the road. The Cardinals are a pretty good home team, but I would not be even considering laying 2-1, and that's up to 210 now.
Yeah, I'm going to look to the under in this one, Dave. I think Miami, and you said Hernandez as good as he pitched in the minors and in good first start. I wish that first start wasn't right back against the same team. And Dave, It seems like this year that's happening more and more where teams are playing back-to-back weeks series wise, and you're getting pitchers matching up, and I'm not a fan of that.
It's about right. It's about what it usually is, and it's a tricky cap. I don't pay much attention to it. I don't think revenge is a big motive in baseball. So
I don't, but where it does come in for me, Dave, is when you've got a young pitcher. You know how we always say the young pitchers, they've got the advantage over the hitters the first time through. Now you throw an added element in there when they got to face the same team back-to-back starts. That's where I was heading with that one. But where I'm going to go with it is I'm going to take the under, Dave. I think the under 8. I'm going to look for Mikolas to pitch better at home, which his stats have been good at home, and the fact that Hernandez is an unknown commodity for the most part. I look for him to have a decent game again. And even if Mikolas is not on his best game, the way Miami scores runs, 8's still a nice number. I'm going to go ahead and go under 8. Moving to the next one, Milwaukee, Chachin on the mound against Joey Lucchesi, San Diego, returning home from a road trip, buddy. You want to talk about, everybody wants to talk about, teams coming out of Colorado and the fatigue. How about just the fact of running around the bases as many times as the Padres and Colorado had to do in that 4-game series? That was a record set. What they scored, 92 runs?
Yep, all-time record for a 4-game series. So welcome to 2019.
Now you look at this one, and how do you look at this matchup? You know me, I like to go against the team returning home off of a road trip, and we catch Chachin here, who was rocked for 7 runs in his last start, but that last start was May 31st. He's been on the DL, comes off, had a lower back issue that put him on the DL. I'm going to throw that last start out for Chachin and say, hey, he had a problem, had an injury. He's a guy that's pitched well in this park, both as a Padre and then, coming back as a visitor. Career numbers at Petco, 11-4, and an ERA at 2.28. What do you make of this one?
Yeah, I think it's a great spot for Chachin in terms of the comfort zone. He has not pitched well this season, and I'll throw out the last start as well because of the back problem. But he's been bad all season. Although I think he might be in the right spot here. He's obviously got the career numbers in this ballpark from his Padre days, so he likes pitching here. And the Padres are going to find quickly, I'm sure they know it, but they'll be reminded quickly that the ball does not travel at Petco like it travels at Coors. I mean, it was just unbelievable the way things were going in that series. And the Padres with 9th inning magic in 2 games. Lucchesi's been very good. First time through the order, second time through the order. He struggles after that. You know where I'm probably heading with this one? First 5 under. I don't think Hader's going to be available tonight, so I don't really want the Brewers' bullpen over 9 innings. Padres' bullpen got spent over the weekend, let's put it that way. I think you just concentrate on the first 5 innings, and I look for under 4.5 here to be at least live. It would be scary to play that with the Padres swinging the bats the way they did, but again, this is not Coors, it's Petco.
It is, and Dave, little interesting stat for you. In that 4-game series, over the weekend, only one pitcher did not get into the game for the San Diego Padres, and that would be
Lucchesi.
That would be Joey Lucchesi, the only guy that didn't get any work in that one. You talk about a bullpen that's running on fumes, and to allude to the full game, Dave, the part that you said about the bullpen and Lucchesi in the second time and beyond through the order, if they have to kind of force themselves to go a little bit farther than they normally would want to do with him, that could present a problem where he runs into that inning where they leave him out there just maybe 1 inning too much, and then you run for that bullpen to put the fire out, and they haven't put out any fires over the weekend. So I lean to Milwaukee for the game. I do wish we would have Hader available. Obviously, would make it a much better play. Moving on to the next one, you've got San Francisco and the Dodgers. Dodgers they're a machine, Dave. They're not scoring a lot of runs, but they're not giving up a lot of runs.
They might score some tonight.
Yeah, this is a pitching matchup that they should be able to get some runs off of. But the guy on the mound for the Dodgers, Maeda, he is not giving up runs. He has been good. 5-0 at home this year, Dave. ERA of 1.69 and a whip of 0.71. There's no flukiness to the numbers with him at home. He's been dominant at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, about the only negative you can find here is the Dodgers had to play the Sunday night game, but they're not traveling. They're at home. Right. Tyler Beede has not shown he can pitch. He's not a big league pitcher based on what I've seen. So the Dodgers should win this ball game. Line's going up, even though it opened 231. It's 240. I've seen some 260 out there now. I think the cheapest I'm seeing anywhere is 227. And the Dodgers should win this, obviously. You want to play it, go ahead. I mean, look, this price range has been winning all year.
Yep.
So it's not – I'm not saying, I can't play it because it's that high. It's actually not a bad play.
Also looking at this one, Dave, throw out a number for you with in regards to the total. First of all, I said about how the Dodger pitching has been so dominant. Last 16 games, Dave, they've held 14 of the 16 opponents to 3 runs or less. That's going to win you baseball games. No question about that. Maeda, when he is pitching as a favorite of 150 or more, last 2 seasons, 15-4 to the under. And if you make that same stat and just take it to at home favorite of 150 or more, 10-1 to the under. I lean to this game. I lean to the Dodgers under in this one, under the 8 runs, just because the Dodgers aren't scoring a lot of runs, even though Beatty's not good. And I would agree with the Dodgers if you're playing the side. Moving over to the American League, big one in the National League, American League East, I should say. You got Tampa at the Yankees. Yankees, not often you see the Yankees as a home favorite in this price range. That's going to tempt a lot of people to run to the windows to look at the Yankees. And speaking of that price range, last 2 seasons, only 23 times have the Yankees been a home favorite of 150 or less, Dave. They're 18-5.
Pretty good.
You know, for the Yankees, who are a public team, they're always going to get money to start with, and then playing at home. So when they're under 150, they're playing what is, regarded as good teams. It's probably teams, like when Houston comes to town, Boston comes to town, and yet they're still 18-5 against the better teams at home. Rise to the occasion?
Sure, the Yankees are a public team. Tampa's become one. Because baseball bettors are not stupid, and this is just a good team. It's not like Tampa's. The cute little Tampa Bay Lightning, or whatever the Rays. Wrong sport. And I'm actually looking at a couple of the places where I have ticket counts. It's about even, and the price hasn't really moved much. 135. It's sitting right in that neighborhood. And look, Tampa's good. They're a half game behind the Yankees. Chirinos has been solid, and people who bet baseball and follow the game know that Masahiro Tanaka has not been sharp. He is not getting the splitter to split, and that's his out pitch. When his splitter's working, it's really almost impossible to hit. He's got such phenomenal late movement on it, but it just has not been working the way he wants it to lately, which means he's been reliant on his other stuff, which isn't that good. And I think this line's a bit high. It's not high enough for me to play it, but I actually think the price is a bit high at 135. I made it about 120, and if it happens to go up, if there's a late surge on the Yankees, I might consider taking Tampa. As of now, it's not going to be a play for me.
Yeah, given the stuff you're saying on Tanaka, last 3 starts identical, 6 innings, 4 runs. On current form, the 2 pitchers, I'm looking Tampa. I'm looking first 5, Dave. I don't want to go beyond with the Yankees in that lineup, the way they find a way, they just keep coming at you. I think the advantage is first 5 innings with Tampa, and that's the way I would play this one. The next one's the LA Angels at Toronto. Dave, I'm only going to say 2 words on this game, and then you can take it from there, because that's the only 2 words you got to say, in my opinion, on this one. Edwin Jackson and fade. Maybe say 3 words. I want no part of him.
Not bad last time out. I don't know if Toronto, I would not be surprised if you see a starting pitcher change there, because they opened for Jackson last time and it worked better. So they might do the same thing here. As of now, Jackson's the starter. The Angels will go the opener route tonight, Garcia, and then he'll give way to Felix Pena. I don't see a great deal in this game. I really don't see anything in the game, so I'm going to stay out of this completely. I have no idea what to make of this.
Edwin Jackson, in his 5 starts, 11.90 ERA and a whip of 2.23. You just can't put that many guys on base every inning and get away with it. We might be looking at the end of the road for Jackson real soon if he doesn't turn it around.
His last start was better. His last performance was better.
Okay, in which came out of, as you said, they did the starter route with it, and
right.
We'll see if that translates in a second one for him. Cleveland at Texas. This is an interesting game, Dave. You got Mike Clevinger making his return. After 2 starts of the season, there wasn't anybody better than Clevinger to start the year, man. This guy was on fire, and then hits the DL for 60 days. Big shot in the arm, excuse the pun, being a pitcher coming back. But Cleveland's playing their best baseball of the year right now, Dave, and now get one of their big pieces back. This could be a momentum, they already have momentum, might keep it going for them. They're going to face a Texas team with Lance Lynn, who, I got to be honest with you, has pitched better than I expected this year from him. He's never going to dominate. He's an innings, eater guy. He'll go out there and get you a solid 6 innings, maybe give up 3-4 runs, but he's going to keep you in a ball game. How do you see this one? They're coming back off a road trip.
And a successful one, as they played well at Fenway, even though they lost a couple of games. Won the series at Cincinnati over the weekend, winning on Friday and Saturday before they got smashed in yesterday's game. Lynn's been solid. Clevenger's really good, okay? I mean, this guy's a terrific young pitcher. But he's not going to be out there for a long time tonight. Judging off his 2 minor league rehab starts, I'm figuring about 75 pitches for Clevenger. And what I'm going to look at here is I like the idea of Clevenger coming off the disabled list. I think he'll be excited about the start. Lynn is a guy you just really don't want to go against right now. They keep winning when he's out there. He's not getting hit hard. He'll give up base hits, but not a lot of runs. I think you've got the capabilities of a first 5 under here. Also, the Rangers are a bit short-handed. Joey Gallo's still out. Hunter Pence will not be playing tonight. I think he'll be going to the injured list. And not sure of the status of Mazzara, who reportedly was feeling better yesterday, but I think he's still going to be a game-time decision. So you could be looking at a lineup that's missing a few pieces tonight. I think that plays toward the under as well. And that's the way I would look here, is first 5 under 5.
Well, Dave, I'm almost with you. I'm first 5, but I'm first 5 Cleveland here, and I agree 100% on the part with Clevenger. Will be sky high getting back into the lineup. 75 pitchers, if that's the pitch count, that should get me the 5 innings from him that I'm looking for. And you're right on Lance Lynn. They're winning for him. But, Dave, this is one of those ones where I think the numbers are just a little bit misleading on Lance Lynn. They're 5-1 in his 6 home starts. But in those 6 home starts, his ERA is actually 4.91. And I know ERA, a lot of people don't care about that anymore. But the whip is 1.41. Guys are hitting him and getting on base. I I just think Cleveland, with the way they're playing right now, the confidence level, and the confidence level is going to be even higher with Clevenger on the mound. I'm going to go ahead and give Cleveland a shot first 5 innings, and this is probably one of the games that will make my card tonight. I just love the spot coming off the road trip and everything. Cleveland first 5. Moving to the next one, your Boston Red Sox. They send Rick Porcello to the mound against Minnesota and Jose Barrios. And you look at Minnesota, when Barrios goes out there, man, all they do is win. 14 starts this season. They're 11-3 in his starts. Of course, they've got winning records just about in everybody's starts because Minnesota has played so well. This is a team that's scoring. They just keep scoring runs. They've scored 5 or more runs in 9 of their last 11 games, Dave. And no surprise, they lead the league in home runs with 137 dingers on the year already.
Yeah, Porcello he's had some first inning issues, and then he settles down after that. But be careful in the first inning here because this Minnesota team can jump on you and do some damage. Barrios has been outstanding for the most part, like everybody on the Twins. I mean, it's just a dream season for them so far. Seeing very little line movement on the game, 135, mostly staying at 135. I think that's about the right price in the game. The Red Sox did pick up some momentum over the weekend, but it was against the Orioles. So how much does it mean? I mean, the Orioles are just a terrible baseball team. Right. You're supposed to go out there and beat them. Red Sox have not done well against good teams this year. And Minnesota falls into the good team category, so I would be looking first at the Twins here.
Yeah, Porcello off of the good start, but his 6 road starts, Dave, 6.37 ERA and a whip of 1.61. To me, it's all Minnesota in this game. Here is another interesting stat with Minnesota. They haven't lost that many games this year, Dave. 23 opportunities that they are coming off a loss. Off a loss, they are 18-5 this season. It's Minnesota or nothing for me. Let's move to the next one. Baltimore and Oakland. You've got Oakland and Michael Fiers on the mound. You're paying a price, $220 for the Oakland A's. Why is that? Well, of course, they're playing Baltimore. Andrew Cashner on the mound. Can you make any case here for Baltimore?
No.
Yeah.
No. Plus, they're traveling coast to coast. It's a horrible spot for the Orioles. 220. Look, you can make a really good case for a Dodgers-A's money line parlay because they both look like winners tonight, and you can get a half. You're not going to get a great return on big favorites like that, but I can see pairing those two together and feeling pretty good about your chances.
Just throw a hypothetical to you because we're thinking along the same lines. I know you're not a guy that likes to lay the run in half.
The runs line. No.
Okay.
Yeah, wrong guy for runs lines. I think they're bad bets, and particularly with bullpens and particularly with home teams because you don't have a ninth inning.
If you do have a ninth inning, you're in trouble. Yeah.
No, but you're getting one. You're getting 24 outs instead of 27 if the bets goes your way. No, I can't. Not for me. I'm not arguing against people who do it. Everybody's got their own philosophy, but you won't see that for me.
Now, for me here in the difference, if I was to do a run line in one of these two, I would be more apt to do it in the Oakland game than I would do it in the Dodger game because of the Dodgers not scoring runs and have, a tendency to play those tight games. And Oakland with the travel spot for Baltimore, and they do have an offense that's scoring runs right now.
But I'll give you the flip side.
The bullpen.
I mean, Andrew Cashner has not pitched that badly. He really hasn't. He's been, I'm not saying he's an all-star, but he hasn't been all that terrible.
He's just on a bad team.
He's on a really bad. I think Cashner's probably going to end up with. I would not be shocked if he gets traded to a contender as a back of the rotation guy who can pick up some innings and give him a chance. I'm not. And again, I don't want anybody to say, "Oh, Cokin said Andrew Cashner's a good pitcher." No, but he's not. He hasn't been awful. Okay, I mean, let me punch up his numbers really quickly here. It'll only take a second. Because that's you look at numbers more than reputation. And I know Cashner's got a horrible reputation. Oh God, it's Andrew Cashner. But looking at his these just numbers are just not that bad. He's off a good start. He's off a good start against the Astros. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, only 1 walk. Had a bad start against the Giants. An acceptable, by my standards, start at Coors. It wasn't great. 5 runs in 5 innings, but it's at Coors. Good start against the Yankees. 2 in a row, in fact, against the Yankees. Good start against the Red Sox. Split 2 starts against the White Sox. Good in one, not good in the other. Good start against Tampa. Another decent start against the Red Sox. I mean, where are the terrible numbers for him? The 4.73 ERA and the similar metrics are mostly a result of games where he got blown up. Mm-hmm. But he's had more good games than bad games this year. Well, and that's why I'm saying that Cashner is not a guy you can just look at and go, wow, he stinks, that's it. I'm not making a case for Cashner. I'm just not saying he's not as bad as people think he is.
Yeah, in 13 starts, Dave.
He's also 6-2.
He's 6-2. And I always look at what the team record is in the starts. They're 8-5 in his 13 starts for a team that's horrible. And he's actually 5-3. The team is in his road starts. Now that's only 2 games over 500, but because Baltimore has been such big underdogs in all of those games, Dave, that 5-3 record, you're plus 7 units. 7 units if you just flat bet him $100, for 1 unit all year. So yes, he's been a profitable pitcher. I just the spot's just bad for me tonight with them.
And I agree with. But I'm really not going to do anything with it. So
another game that probably won't do anything with. Here's Kansas City at Seattle. This is a spot, though, perfect setup to go against the team returning home. This is a team that's got all kinds of trouble, total disarray. This season has fallen apart. I can't even believe that this is the same Seattle team that we saw those first 2 weeks of the season, Dave. Boy, was that eons ago. Now they're returning home. They're playing a bad team. I just wish there was anybody else here that they were facing because I really would love to go against Seattle returning home off this spot. They got the win yesterday in Oakland, a come-from-behind victory, as we talked about earlier. But this Kansas City team, Dave, man, they can't get out of their own way either.
They're just really bad. 23-48 tells you all you need to know. Yeah, look, my numbers point to the Royals here, but I'm not interested. I don't want to back a 23-48 team unless it's real juicy, and I can try and sneak out a win. It's not like Danny Duffy's Mr. Automatic. He's
coming off his best game of the year, though.
Yeah.
But it was the Tigers.
I'd say he's the better of the 2 pitchers here, but who cares? No, it was a quick pass for me. I don't want the Mariners under any conditions, and I'm going to only take the Royals if I can get prices, and plus 100 is not a price. So next game.
And that next game is the Houston Astros at Cincinnati. I never give up more than 3 runs, Wade Miley on the mound. Going to face Cincinnati. You got to figure Houston's got to be in a little bit of a, angry mood today after getting trounced yesterday at home. 12-0. How's that happen to
a bad game?
Peacock I don't know. He had, finally looked like he had turned the corner there for a few starts, and then
he didn't get killed. He only gave up 4 runs. The bullpen was the Lopez kid was not good,
to say the least.
It might have been Perez. I get his names mixed up, but one of the bullpen guys got absolutely lit yesterday. I think it's Perez. Yeah. Peacock didn't have a great day. But it's just one of those Sunday games.
Cincinnati salvaged the final game of the series yesterday against Texas, winning 11-3. They send their best pitcher out there in Castillo. You can't fault him. I mean, 14 starts on the season, Dave. An ERA of 2.31, a WHIP of 1.09. With numbers like that, and he's got a 6-1 record. For the season. But here's where the asterisk, and it's the theme of 2019. The bullpen's not done him any favors this season at all. As good as he's pitched, 6-1 record, but he's only team-wise 7-7 in his 14 starts. And with an ERA like that, you would think that number would be much better. If he's got to leave and turn it over to the bullpen, you hold your breath. If you want Castillo, I got to look first five if I'm playing him. But you're going against Wade Miley. Tough to do a first 5-inning bet against him. He never gives up more than 3 runs.
Yeah, I do like the Reds some here, though. Castillo's, look, he can have control problems at times. And actually, his control hasn't been fantastic lately. But guy's he's been money. And Miley's here's the other side of Miley. You're right. He never gets hit hard. But he also is going to give up 2 or 3 runs almost every time out. He's just steady as a rock. I can see the Reds being up in this one. Whether they hold the lead or not becomes dicey, and I think they'd like to get some innings out of Castillo, but he hasn't gone 7 since May 5th. So 6 innings has been about his norm. I would look at a first 5 here as a consideration on the Reds.
I would agree with that. And you're getting the Reds at, it tells you all you need to know about Castillo, that as good as Houston is and as bad as Cincinnati is, you still have Cincinnati as a small home favorite. And Castillo is the one pitcher that has commanded respect from the do we want to say the sharps with him because he's definitely got the metrics to back the numbers. So I agree with you. Cincinnati first 5 for me as well. Dave, is there any of these ones that we talked about you want to single out as a free play for the listeners?
Yeah, I know it's chancy, but I would go Brewers Padres first 5 under 4.5. You get about even money in that. I just expect Lucchesi to be solid like he usually is for the first 2 times through the order. And Chacin loves to pitch this ballpark, so it's a perfect place for him to come off the DL. And it's Petco. So it's not Coors, it's Petco. So I would go first 5 under 4.5.
All right, and I'll throw out, I kind of said it when we did the game, I'm going to take Cleveland and Clevenger first 5 tonight. Expect a big outing from him in his return, and I expect just the adrenaline rush for the entire Cleveland team, give them the shot that they feel they can get back in this thing. They're playing good baseball right now, and if Clevenger comes back to anything close to what he went on the DL with, I'm looking forward to him, and so is the Indians for the second half run. All right, Dave, hey, I'll see you in a couple hours. Big show today. It's Monday. That's Station's show. Chuck Esposito will be talking about a lot of stuff over the weekend. Talk about the fallout of the big trade in the NBA and how it's moved the market. We got a new leader in the clubhouse as far as winning the NBA championship. Well, isn't that amazing? You can win a championship on paper.
They might win it on the court, too. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. They definitely are buying into the Lakers right now, and we'll talk about that today. It's fun how 2 weeks ago they're ready to crucify Jeannie Buss, and now she gets Anthony Davis to L.A., and everything's okay all of a sudden. Fans are fickle, aren't they, Dave?
Yeah, they're fans.
All right, I'll see you today, 2 to 3, Las Vegas Sports Line. Dave Cokin and myself. This has been First Pitch, sitting in for the Prez. I'll be sitting in for the Prez one more time tomorrow, and so I'll be talking to you tomorrow, Dave, as well. See you in a few hours, bud.
Adios.
Take care.
Okay.